Yeah, I'll just mute my mic. No, we gotta have that on.
No, you have to have both.
Okay. Ambient sound. This is not gonna work.
We can't even put it together for freaking ambient. And welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of Back from the Grid podcast. I'm your host, Matthew, here with your other co-host, Cody. Cody, how you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, Matthew. This is a great day. It's going to be a great podcast. We're going to have a great time. Everything's going to be great.
It's going to be absolutely wonderful, and it's going to be the best podcast of all time.
Do you know why,
there's
Matthew?
no soup.
Because we're buying clothes at the soup store.
Alrighty, yeah, we just got done watching a funny video. Anyway, so
for
Cody,
those of you who don't know, please look up I'm at Soup on YouTube. And if you haven't seen it before, you will be pleasantly surprised. Yes,
it'll make
Matthew.
you very happy.
Let's start this. I almost said live stream again. Let's start this podcast. Are you ready, Matthew?
I am so ready.
That's awesome. What have you been getting up to in this past week? Games have you been playing? Life events? All sorts of interesting things. Matthew, lay it on us. What's going on?
College, work, school. Wait, I just said school twice, technically.
Yeah.
So we did, and I'm not going to tell anybody, but well, you guys already know this. We go to college.
Yes. Do we?
Yeah,
wow.
we do. Wow,
That's a surprise.
We do. We go to college. That's shocking. So I'm hearing a lawnmower in my right ear.
Yep, it happens. Let's just keep rolling on.
So we actually do have lives. We have lives.
It's getting closer.
They're going to try to lawnmower us.
It's getting closer. What the heck? They just bust through the wall. Oh, yeah.
The Kool-Aid man riding a lawnmower, everybody. So anyway, I've been playing Arkham Asylum because we had 2 days off.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really awesome game. I had a great time.
Fall break.
Oh, snap. Well, technically it wasn't fall break.
That's what it said on the calendar.
Technically our fall break will be like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's the same difference. But yeah, we had 2 days off.
Same.
It's the 2 days off.
It's the same thing. Yay.
We had 2 days off to do whatever we wanted, and you played Batman.
Yeah, I played Batman.
Batman. Why did you play Batman?
Because I got it for free on the Epic Store. Plug. Shameless plug.
You're plugging the Epic Store? You monster. You monster.
I know, right? Wow.
Well, what else have you been doing and playing, and how's the games?
So I beat Arkham Asylum in the 2 days that I had off.
But you did have some trouble with it.
Yeah, so the PC version, and they get even closer. They picked a great time.
You guys are just going to have lawnmower noise. Lawnmower noise. Anyways. We were sitting here for 20 minutes trying to get this thing going, and there was silence. And then suddenly we start recording, and it's just like, hey, let's just go right up to this house over here and just rev my engines. Please continue, Matthew. We will just ignore what's going on outside right now.
Oh, man. Okay, so...
Just keep going, man. Just keep going.
Just keep going.
Just keep going. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so collecting myself here.
Yes.
We've been playing. I went ahead and beat it. I only collected like 40-something trophies because even though everybody else is over here like, I'm going to do that. Oh, my God. I can't do this. No, I can't do it. It's
I'm
over,
sorry for
everybody.
Okay, because you guys can't see us. I was just miming while Matthew was talking. I was just miming like driving on a lawnmower. Oh, jeebus. Come on back here, Matthew. Come on. We got a podcast to do with special effects. Special super lawnmower sound effects, everybody.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is I got done literally saying, oh, hey, Cody, we should add ambient noise to our podcast.
Yeah.
And you were like, this is such a terrible idea, Matthew. We should not do it. Here it is.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. That was wonderful. Anyway, Cody, what have you been... Oh, my God. It's Nope.
No, it's back. Okay. I've been doing all right. I've been watching TV and playing video games and all sorts of stuff. Today, I was looking through some Minecraft mod packs because I was getting an itch to play one of those, but I have not yet found one that I want to dive deeply into. So, yeah, basically college, work, other work, college again because there's so much of it, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And we had our live stream on what was that, on Monday?
We
had
great.
a live stream on Monday. It went awesome. We had a great time. People were killed and homes destroyed, and it was wonderful. We were playing Civilization 5 for those of you who are wondering why homes
I
were
declared
destroyed.
war on everybody.
Yes, and then suddenly didn't anymore, and we figured it out. It was great. It was a great time. I had fun. You all should check out our Twitch and our social medias, Back from the Grid and Back from the Grid podcast. On Twitch, it's Back from the Grid. It used to be The Back from the Grid, but I fixed it because science. But Matthew, we have to get to the whole reason people are here today.
Obviously.
The one specific reason. Are you ready for this?
We might have to make timestamps for this just one segment.
Mountain Blade Bannerlord is coming out in 136 days.
Oh, snap.
But some exciting stuff. They changed up their Steam profile, and they've got new pictures and stuff, and it's so cool. And I can't wait.
God, you're like a kid right now. It's like, I'm
However,
seeing pictures.
I've got some bad news.
They delayed it.
No.
Again.
I would, this podcast would be in flames. And they stole my stapler, so I'm going to burn it to the ground. Anyway.
Oh my God.
No one's going to get that because no one listening to our podcast has seen Office Space. Go watch Office Space. It's a great movie. But there's some bad news. I read through their early access statement. 2 of the biggest features that they're supposed to have are not going to be included in the early access. Or that's what they're going to be working on, is those 2 biggest features. Building your own kingdom and weapon customization. Weapon customization was one of the first things that they started showing off excuse me, for Mountain Blade Bannerlord. And they're not going to have it in the release.
Good job.
It's fine. I just really hope that it's not an omen for what's to come, because
they're just going to launch it like
this
that.
Needs to be the best video game ever for how long they made people wait. And I am nervous. But anyways, let's continue on to a new segment. Matthew,
a new segment.
Drum roll, please. Our new segment is impersonations. Now, yes, before you all click away to a different podcast, me and Matthew enjoy doing impersonations of characters and, voices and all that stuff. And Matthew does a really good job at impersonations, and I can do... Okay, good censorship there. So, yes, we've got a new segment. It's going to switch out with nostalgia off and on, whichever one we're feeling like. And we're going to be talking about different characters and trying to do impersonations of them. And we have a soundbite of the character, which we'll try to emulate. And each week that we do this, me and Matthew are going to switch off. Matthew has picked the character for this week because it's a new segment. I already know which character it is, but in the future, whenever one of us picks a character, the other one will not have any idea what it is, so we will have no time to practice. Now, fair warning, neither of us are voice actors. Neither of us are good at this, or get paid. However, we enjoy it, and I hope you guys do too. So, Matthew, why don't you tell us all who you've picked today?
Oh, is that what you want to know? Oh, God, I can't do this. Okay, so I picked Batman.
This is going to be great.
This is a great omen of things to come.
Yes.
So I picked... Oh, wait, hold on.
You picked Dling.
I picked Dling. That was that's what you have to emulate there. Mm-hmm. That's for the thing you need to do. Mm-hmm. I picked Batman.
But you picked a specific clip. So why don't you go ahead and play that clip for us now.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. All right, hold on.
No, don't put both of our microphones towards it. Only one of them needs to be.
Yeah, there we go.
Right, you can put yours towards it because my cord is short. All right, here we go.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Let's go ahead and play that again.
Yeah, let's play that one more time.
Just
I'm trying to listen to this. I'll have to go first on impersonating it, so let's try it again. All right, play that one more time. I need to hear that one more time. Hold on.
This is how you get copyright.
I don't care.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Oh, Jeebus. All right. This was a lot easier to impersonate whenever we weren't being recorded.
Alrighty, Cody.
All right.
Let's see what you got. Let's see what
I'm going to
you
give this my best go, and fair warning, it's probably not going to be great. Batman is not one of my characters I like to impersonate very often. Wait, what were the first words that he said?
I am vengeance.
Okay. I am vengeance. I am the night. I, Mark, am Batman.
Oh my god.
'Cause
Really?
your dog was barking whenever the sound effect was being played. Oh, that was not good. Okay, let me try that one more time.
Go for it one more time.
All right. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
You should have done John Cena.
Woo! Okay,
Kicked
so
in the
that's
door.
my attempt. What did you think, Matthew? Give me your honest opinion on that. Let's talk about it just for a second.
That sounded very generic.
Yeah, it didn't have very
sorry.
much character to it.
No, not
But,
dark enough.
Not
Sounds like
DC enough. Everyone died. There it goes. Now it's DC.
There you go.
Okay,
Gosh,
Matthew.
I think I found it.
Matthew, why don't you give it a try?
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am John Cena.
Okay, but give it, try it, like give it a full go. Do your best.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
The first one was better, man. You tried too hard on that one.
Leave me alone.
You got rid of your gravelly and you just went deep. Give us some gravel, man. Give it another
I
go.
am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Very nice.
There
Very
we
nice.
go. That sounded terrible.
Yeah.
So obviously,
No,
yeah,
that was pretty
totally.
good. Batman's a difficult one to do if you don't have the voice for it necessarily. You have to get a lot of gravel in there, a lot of deep, and that specific clip was a very un-Batman-like Batman voice because usually it's where is she? Is usually the Batman voice, but
no.
this one is actually fairly up there. So I think overall we did pretty good, but why don't you guys let us know on our social media pages on Facebook at Back From The Grid Podcast, Twitter, Back From The Grid, and Twitch if, we're there
Shameless
if you catch us there,
plug.
Back From The Grid. Yeah, but just let us know what you guys thought. Give us some suggestions of what you want to hear next week and us making fools of ourselves and all that good stuff. So, yeah, that was interesting. I think that was a good way to open up the podcast.
Yeah.
It was a great way because now our vocal cords hurt, and now we have to do the rest of the podcast. So,
Yeah, it's gonna be great. everybody.
Matthew, we're going to move on to another segment that everyone loves, and it's our news segment. We've both gone out. We've found some news stories that we both found interesting. I can't talk today. Jeebus. It's almost like I shouldn't do a podcast or something.
Wow.
But
Throw your audience under the bus here.
not the audience,
Wow.
me, myself,
And yourself.
and I.
Me, myself, and I. Anyway.
Yes.
So we got a couple of news stories to talk about. Let's go ahead and go right into the news.
And we've found some stories that we're interested in. And Matthew, you're going to start us off. What did you find?
So, players are a little bit upset over recent news that Bethesda and their studios are no longer going to be releasing on human NPCs on time for this year. They've delayed their actual NPC update that they had announced at E3 this year, along with dedicated servers and such. So basically, they announced at E3 a couple months ago that they would be doing a bunch of updates towards Fallout 76, including a battle royale mode, private servers, and human NPCs into the game. However, it does look like, although the private servers are going to be arriving by next week, the human NPCs have been delayed to next year, the first quarter of next year. So, in a recent interview with the Bethesda Game Studios, they said that this means that we may see it as late as March 31st. It's going to need more time, to be honest, as they said. They need to make sure that it is a polished update as it could be. we'll continue to reevaluate and change our processes to make sure that it works with what we're doing and it hits our quality bars and yours. So we've, like I said, Fallout 76, when it launched about a year and a half ago or such, it had launched kind of with very mixed reception, if not very low kind of expectations from Fallout fans and from reviewers and critics. It did not do that well, and it garnered a lot of disappointment towards Bethesda, and they've made a lot
You mean
of...
garnered?
It garnered.
Okay, that's good.
Gosh, wow,
Well,
interjects.
I just want people to know what you're trying to say.
So it's been gaining a lot of negativity, especially with newer news stories coming out, like the canvas bag incident, and also apparently Fallout 76's collector editions hats, select ones sold by GameStop, are having to be sent back because they had sent out a thing saying that it started gathering mold on it.
Okay, so for those who don't know, canvas bag incident sounds like somebody got murdered. So why don't you tell them what it actually is?
So with the canvas bag incident, if anybody didn't know, they had advertised their collector's edition or such, coming with the helmet and a canvas bag. The canvas bag actually wasn't made of canvas. It was a nylon, cheap plastic bag. And it was super, like, people were not very happy. So people went ballistic on Bethesda's part. And so Bethesda response saying that, oh, okay, that's great. We'll go ahead and fix it, but we'll wait 6 months to send you your new ones. So you have to give us 6 months.
Yeah, this thing that we promised you, we'll fix it, but
it'll take a half year before we fix it. So needless to say, fans were not happy about this whole thing. So they did eventually meet their promise, even though it took way longer than it should have. They shouldn't have done that to begin with, because they advertised the collector edition having canvas bag, and they just put a crappy nylon bag in there instead, which is kind of false advertising.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, there's been a lot of blunders with the game. They said they were only going to put cosmetic only purchasable items, and they ended up putting items into it that allow you to get benefits over players. They had like med kits and stuff like you could buy. And then they also had you could buy weapon repair kits or such, so you can repair the damage on your weapons, which, it adds that kind of pay to win element to the game at that point.
It's not it is explicitly adding element.
Pay to win mechanics into your game. And which sucks, considering the fact that you don't have that much of an audience to begin with anymore, and you're just making your audience even more angry at you, and it's just frustrating on the consumer side. So yeah.
Yeah, this really concerns me, like the way that Bethesda's been going with how the new Elder Scrolls game is going to be. I know. It's just, what is it, Todd Howard? Is that the guy?
Todd Howard, yeah.
Just
Todd Howard.
A crap show. And
is disappointment.
Look, is Fallout 74, is it 74?
76.
76. Is it a free to play game?
No.
Then it should not have microtransactions, period.
I love the fact,
even if it's just cosmetic.
I love the fact that it went from a $60 game all the way down into like 30 or 20.
Yeah, like in a month.
They were literally giving away free copies of Fallout 76 in some places with a controller.
Yeah, because it was just garbage.
Nobody wanted it. And it was doing horrible. And they know that the game did horrible.
Mm-hmm.
They when they went to their second E3 about that game, they were like, okay, but they were still wanting to turn it into a live service game.
And that's the problem.
Which I mean, if they get the game to where it's
Fallout should not be a live service. It just shouldn't be. It should be a game. As they're a games company, they should make just a game. Just a game. They don't have to make all the money.
But the thing is, I feel like they're trying to turn it into
Grand Theft Auto 5.
No. I feel like they're trying to turn it into another game that was single player, and then they tried turning it into a multiplayer game. What is it called? Elder Scrolls Online?
Elder Scrolls Online?
That's what it feels like they're trying to turn it into.
Okay, but
and
Elder
I feel
Scrolls
like it's
Online
done the
is
same course.
Is a different thing, though. And I mean, I don't personally know how it was received, because I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. I was a huge fan of it. I couldn't wait for it, and then it came out, and I was so disappointed.
That's
every
pretty
aspect.
much all Fallout 76 players there in a nutshell.
But I've heard decent things. If you can get into a good guild with that game, then you can have some fun with it. So I mean, yeah, but really, the problem with having so many live service games is people only have so much time and money. And if you have 50 million live service games out there that people have to constantly spend money on, well, they're not gonna spend money on those games anymore because there's too many of them.
Yeah, which is why they're all competing.
Yeah.
They want all your money.
I was never interested in Fallout 76, and it sort of sounded kind of interesting when I first heard about it, but that game has just become a crapshoot. Just so bad.
It makes me really disappointed, and I feel like Bethesda is kind of going down a downward spiral of we're gonna start because there's and I'm really concerned about their potential to make good games because of the fact that they're following the trends of the game industry, which is which is funny considering the fact that they've said that they've made jokes about it and they said, oh, we're not going to go down that route. We're not going to focus on live services. We're going to focus on single player games. And they'd poke fun at EA, and then it's like, oh, a couple years later,
look how much money EA was making before they screwed it all up. I'm sure they're still making lots and lots of money, but
not nearly as much as they would.
Anyway, that was a great news story, Matthew. I'm worried for the next Elder Scrolls game. Hopefully.
It's going to be filled with microtransactions.
Anyway, okay. So on a brighter note, I actually have some good news for everybody. Are you ready for this, Matthew?
Oh man, some good news. That's
everyone listening right now, as far as since October 17th, 2019, when we're recording this. Well, we're not recording it at 10:33 a.m., but that's when this article was posted by Nicole Carpenter on Polygon.com. And the story that I have to talk about is about speedrunning. Speedrunning. But it is also about an opportunity for you, Matthew, for me, and everyone listening to make $700.
I like money.
To win $700, I guess I should say, instead of make, so you're not like... Anyway, so the story goes, the speedrunner, known generally online as Liquid Wi-Fi, has been speedrunning a game known as Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh, I love that game so much.
Yep. Classic game. He's been speedrunning it. I think the quickest time, the world record for it is like just around 3 hours long. So that game is a beast. And it is a broken beast, but it's great. I played it when I was younger. It was amazing.
I still own my copy on GameCube.
Lots of nostalgia. Well, maybe then you can help this guy out because he's offering a $700 bounty for information, for people to investigate this game, look into its code, do anything and everything needed to be done to figure out how to get the coins faster. He wants it to become more of a mainstay game in the speedrunning scene. And as a game that the current world record is 3 hours, that's really long for a lot of these speed record, especially for such an old game, because games like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, you can literally like split into the wall and teleport to the final boss and like beat him with a stick to win in 20 minutes or something. But 3 hours is a very long time. So everyone listening, take to the internet, take to the Game Boys and the emulators, and take to whatever you need to go and get this game, break into it, figure out how to make it work, how to get the fastest times, help this guy out, and you too can win $700. Hashtag not sponsored, just talking about news. The general thing is the biggest choke point with this game, or I guess I should say the smallest choke point with this game, because it's a choke point, is the time it takes to gain all the coins, because you have to have a certain amount of coins to fully complete this game. I think it's like 1,500 coins or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I can't quite find the information on the story at this second, but most of the time, cannot talk today. Most of the time people spend during their speed runs in this game are to get the coins, which you need to buy like the different vehicles and the different items and stuff like that. But you also need a certain amount of coins at the end of the game in order to complete it. So that's the story, Matthew. You could win $700.
I will get right onto that as soon as I have some free time.
Exactly. It might take a lot of time. Depends on who you are. Maybe you love digging into old games code or something. I don't know.
So have good luck with that. Yes. Now that we have got that story down. And Pat, let's go ahead and segue right on in
to the favorite segment. The third favorite at this point segment. Or my favorite segment anyway, Matthew. Now, this segment has had a hiatus for the past 2 weeks because of like issues and scheduling, and we had other things to talk about. But now, it's back.
It is back in all of its glory, and we're doing our first duo.
Are you ready, Matthew? Are you ready,
I don't
listeners?
know if I am, but let's do it.
Today, Mario and Luigi versus Batman and Robin.
It's Batman and Robin.
Obviously,
sorry,
Mario and
lose.
Luigi. Obviously, Mario and Luigi.
I'm gonna laugh when they actually lose.
I'm using the same logic here that was in the Sonic episode. Mario is a beast.
Yeah,
he is a beast.
You want to know? You want to know something? You want to know something? Batman. You know who Batman's fought? He's fought in Joker. He's fought in Poison Ivy. He's fought. He's fought.
Okay, all right.
He's
all right,
fought
hold
in
on,
Dark.
hold on. I have to. This hurts. Foughten is not a word. He fought.
He fought Darkseid, which is like the Thanos of the DCEU.
Did he fight him by himself?
Yes. Did he kick his butt? Yes.
Did he have a critical weakness?
Oh, him?
Darkseid?
Yeah.
That he exploited? Mario doesn't have a weakness like that. It's not like Superman. He does not have a kryptonite.
All you need to do is give him a gentle love tap in the game. If we're applying
not
the game
Batman.
knowledge.
We're working with like the same logic we had for the Mario versus Sonic idea. That Mario is like super ultra powerful because he can break bricks with his face.
But he's super powerful.
And he can spit fire
but he can't
and
take
fly.
much damage.
Well, he's also along with Luigi as well.
Yeah, but you want to know who's also along with Batman? Robin.
Yeah, but
it depends which Robin we're having. If
it's
we're talking,
Robin.
Yeah, but you do realize there's like 4 or 5 of them.
I'm gonna say it's the classic Robin with the tights and the green and the yellow cape and whatnot.
I can't say his name. No, I know his name. I just can't. Grayson. We'll just call him Grayson.
Why can't you say that?
Because his first name is named off of a human body part, which is pretty funny.
What? Just say his name.
No,
it's a name. Oh, Dick Grayson.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's the short version of Richard. That's not a curse word.
Wait, that's the short.
Yeah, it's the short version of Richard. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a name. Did you really think he was named after a body part?
No.
You did, didn't you?
No.
It's the short version of Richard, man. Don't worry about it.
I'm over here just like his parents must have been
name.
drug addicts.
You can say his name because it's his name. That's totally okay. You could say that on TV. It's totally okay. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so Batman and
we're going off
and body part we're facing off against Mario and Luigi, and Mario and Luigi would win because they can both spit fire and break blocks with their face.
I'm sorry, but Batman would win. Mainly for the fact that, one, he's got super strength.
Batman doesn't have super strength.
Have you seen him punching a wall?
Well, he has above average strength. Have you seen angry? Okay.
And
be careful how I say this. Angry, crazy people punching a wall. They can break right through that thing.
And also, after playing Arkham Asylum, I've also gotten a little bit more respect for Batman because he doesn't just fight with physical strength. He is a detective. He is like, you ever see that movie with what was his name? The guy that plays Iron. Oh yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey
Sherlock
Jr.
Holmes, where he when he gets in that fist fight scene,
yes.
when he's like analyzing everything. That's like Batman. When he gets into a situation like that, he analyzes everything in the best possible way to take down an enemy.
All right, but I have a new respect for Mario and Luigi after playing Super Mario World, those guys are plumbers. And plumbers don't give no craps about your detective. They fought and beat hundreds of times a big, spiny, fire-breathing dinosaur creature. And won.
Yeah, so you want to know who Batman's won against fights? He won multiple fights against Joker. He took the entire Court of Owls won. He took on Darkseid, which was pretty much the DC's version of Thanos, 1-1 and kicked his butt. He defeated Poison Ivy. He defeated the Penguin.
We're not
He
asking
defeated
who
Hu-
he has defeated, Matthew.
I'm just saying. I'm giving examples
because Mario and
well, you literally
Luigi
used
have
that as an
defeated.
example.
Because Mario and Luigi have defeated countless people, countless enemies and whatnot. We're talking about when they're facing off against each other, and when they're facing off against each other,
You
Mario
just
and
used an
Luigi's
example.
super strength, fireball casting skills, flying ability, teleporting with tunnels, and like everything else that they have access to, infinite strength, and like breaking bricks with their face, they would destroy Batman and I love how we're not even talking about Robin being a factor in this. He's just like along for the ride.
Not even Batman wants him involved.
Yeah,
He's just kind of like,
he would tell him like, just go home, stay there. You don't need to be involved in this. That was my Batman impersonation, everybody. That was much better than the first one.
there you go. That one doesn't count though, because that wasn't in the segment. Anyway,
You're not
so
a segment, Matthew.
you're not in the segment.
Okay.
Get wrecked. Anyway,
So how about Matthew? Why don't you tell the kind folks at home how they can interact and let us know who has won?
yeah, you can hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, and Myspace, and Twitch. Twitch is for where we do live streams. I believe they are all Back from the Grid, except for one that says the Back from the Grid.
Oh my God, Matthew, you don't even.
I don't even know my
social media.
freaking things.
Okay, Facebook, Back from the Grid podcast, Twitch and Twitter, Back from the Grid. Check us out on there. Let us know who won this segment, because obviously we all know who won. Please,
Batman.
just vote for Matthew, okay? He needs this. He needs this
Oh
win.
yeah,
Just-
please.
guys,
no.
just let him win on this one. It'll be okay. I can handle it. You know, he needs he needs this for his
If you
ego.
all vote for me,
Okay,
it's because
back up,
I'm the
Get off
better.
the mic. Get off. Okay. So yeah, just let us know who you think. Give us your opinions too. Whenever you vote on the poll, right down below in the comment section. Let us know why you voted the way you did. If there's anything we missed here today on why and who would win this and that, just let us know, because we're really interested and we'd love to talk to y'all. So Matthew,
Let's get to my favorite segment.
your favorite segment. Okay, hold on. I have to.
Oh, no, you're not going to pull that up. So anyway, last podcast, I asked you. I'm going to wait a second because he's going to...
LPIA1.
Oh my God. I hate
Please
you.
continue.
Last podcast, I asked you if Jason Voorhees just kicked in your door, what do you say to him? And we actually did get a response this time. Oh my God. And I love the response because it's perfect. It's from Jamie. It's Jamie. Good job, Matthew. Jimmy Barnes said, I would tell him to go watch Cats.
The
And
worst of punishments.
That's one way of getting him to
I
go
could
right
actually
back out
see
to the-
Jason Voorhees just sitting quietly in a theater watching that movie. I could actually see that, like with a tiny little kitten in his lap.
Oh.
And like a dead body next to him.
He's like, you want you want to go watch Cats with me? And then it's like a dead body next to him, like, oh, I'm still going to kill you, but, you know, I'm going to go watch
He's just
Cats.
got Bill Murray from Zombieland just sitting next to him, like, anyways, let's, that's getting darker and darker.
So, Cody, what would
Yes.
you say to him?
If Jason Voorhees kicked in my door, I'd probably just, I wouldn't say a word. I'd just crap myself then and there. If I'm being honest, I would just, poo a little bit.
Oh my God. You're just like, oh God, he's here. I'd probably look at him and be like, what kind of utility bills you paid to kick in my doors?
You're not the IRS.
Oh my God. I'd be like, boy, what kind of, oh, hey, that's a phone.
Hey, don't worry about that. Keep going.
Anyway, so
Dang
that's
it,
what I would
Steam,
do.
why are you getting all up in my business right now?
I love how, funny thing is he got onto me for having my computer speakers on.
Hey, shush.
And he's over here
Just
like,
let him know your next week's question.
of,
I'm not ready. You can't just pull that on me. Oh, I muted it. Hold on. I muted it to be a good person.
LPIA1.
Yeah! Okay, that was
oh my
horrible.
God,
Just
this is going
ask
great.
the question.
So, next week's question is going to be, oh my God. So we watched Joker recently, which we're going to talk about at some point.
Actually,
and
next,
believe
yes.
is going to be our next section. So before we get into it, I bet a lot of you have already watched the film. So my question to you is, if you could have what supervillain movie would you want to see next? Any of them, Marvel, DC, any of them. Freaking,
Ghostbusters, whatever.
yeah, because everybody wants to see a blob movie.
Yeah,
of just a
blob
ghost
movie.
or whatever his name is, the ghost that's like the fat one that eats all the food.
Oh, I was thinking the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Oh yeah, let's get a movie of that.
Like his origin story of how
Oh.
he was like an actor or something, and then he was wronged because they switched to the Pillsbury Doughboy instead, and then he died being all pissed off, and then he came back as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
He came back as a thing he hated.
That's my answer. That's my answer right there for next week. Go online, let us know. Back from the Grid podcast on Facebook and Twitter on Back from the Grid, and let us know what you guys think and what you would like to see. Because now, I don't know why I was talking like this, but now, okay, I'm gonna stop that because that's very annoying. Now we're gonna talk about a movie.
Oh, what kind of movie?
A movie that Matthew already told you that we all are going to talk about today, so I
And we
can't really be
preluded-
facetious about
We
it.
preluded to that a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Hey guys, next we're talking about this next. We're going to talk about. Okay, words. Hi.
Hi.
I can speak English sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yes, we're going to talk about the Joker. So, as always, the first half of this is going to be spoiler free. There really aren't big spoilers in the Joker. There's a couple things I guess we could say that might spoil some things, but generally it's not there's not much spoilers. But we're going to keep it spoiler free for the first part of this, and then we're going to do a soft exit, let you guys know we're not talking about anything else, and then you guys can go watch the movies and come back and listen to what we thought about the scenes. As Matthew said, the movie's been out for a little while, so hopefully a lot of you have already seen it and you can just stick with us. So Matthew, what is your unspoilerific thoughts about the Joker?
I thought it was really good.
I disagree. I thought it was very, very bad, but way, way well made. It was
You thought it was
incredibly
really
well
bad?
made. I thought it was incredibly well made, but I thought it was bad.
Well, explain why.
Because it's not a good movie.
Why is it?
Because you leave that movie feeling like crap.
Well, yeah, it's not a superhero movie.
I
It's
know.
a story.
It's well
It tells
made.
you the story.
Very well made.
I feel like
Incredibly well made.
I feel like that should not qualify in its score. In its
No,
story.
I'm not scoring it. I'm
Or
not
in
saying
its
like
in your view.
okay. No, when I say it's bad, I mean it's a bad movie. Not like
You're-
it's a garbage movie.
You're
but
saying
like it's a
like-
bad movie.
You gotta clarify that.
Okay, Avengers is a good movie because they win. You could say that Avengers Infinity War Part 1 is bad because they lost.
Part 1
Is what I'm getting at. Well, yeah, it's part.
It's Infinity War then Endgame.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's the same thing. That's what they called it back then. But that's what I'm getting at. Avengers Infinity War was a bad movie because they all died. Spoiler warning. Or not they all died, but like they lost. That's what I'm getting at. It was a great, well-made movie, but it was bad. Like, okay, it left you with a sense of
Sadness.
sadness.
It didn't feel
satisfying. Betrayal. There was another word that I was going to use, but I've lost it now. It just leaves you with a sense of dread
Despair and dread.
despair. Yeah, that's what this movie does. Which, I mean, it's great, you know.
But that's
it
what
works.
it is. You know,
Yeah.
you have to learn how this character came to be. So can we give like a brief synopsis of what the
Not
film
synopsis. We'll give that
Or
in the spoiler
spoiler.
point because I don't want to get into spoilers. But
But basically,
overall, what did you think of the different parts, like the characters, the cinematography, all that good stuff?
cinematography was really great. I won't go saying it's like the best in the entire world, but it is
Yeah.
top notch.
Yeah, it was really good, but it wasn't the best I've ever seen.
Music was great.
Yeah, the music was. I mean, that was a part of it that really confused me, even, which is good because that's what they were trying to do. Like there were scenes where things were happening and there was circumstances, and the music was like the complete opposite, but it still worked.
That I actually did watch, and I watched the directors like talking about
Mhm.
some of the scenes. And I'm not going to talk in detail about
Yeah.
it, but he said that he used music a lot because Arthur was a very music kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
And so you
Arthur
know,
is the name of the Joker in this movie. like the actual name.
I
but
feel like a lot of people going into this film, and let me just tell you this: if you were debating
spoilers.
watching it, it's not much of a. It doesn't feel like a comic book movie.
Yeah,
It's more of a drama. Is what
I wouldn't
I'd
even
say
say it's a drama.
a
though.
tragic.
It's a
comedy.
tragedy.
It's a comedy.
It's a lot of things.
It's a lot of things.
It's a lot of
It's
things.
a
I think it might be
both.
like its own thing.
It's really it blurs the lines. Now let's go ahead. We've already talked about it a lot.
I want to give a little bit because you got to talk about stuff, and then you got to give me time to talk, man. Come on, sit your podcast.
You gotta
come
move
on,
back.
I'm talking here.
I'm talking.
I'm talking here. Okay, I'm sorry for all the people I've just offended there.
And
Okay.
everybody left that was from New Jersey.
So that was a Boston accent. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I'm sorry, everybody. Yeah, cinematography was great. I wanted to talk about Joaquin Phoenix. That guy did a spectacular job. I'm not going to get into the details just yet, but there was only like maybe once in the whole movie when I saw the actor instead of the character he was portraying, which means he did a fantastic job. Because like with Robert Downey Jr., not a bad thing, but I saw Robert Downey Jr. a lot just as an actor. And I mean, that's, just for me, I'm characterizing this my own way. This is all just our opinions. I'm not saying that you'll have the same experience, but he did a phenomenal job at capturing what the Joker should be. I think, anyway. And I think it's a shame that they're so far not planning to return his character
to the DCEU. It's as
or
far
at all for anything.
I mean, if this movie makes a lot of money, which it has been making a lot of money, that may change.
It may change, but I don't know if Joaquin Phoenix would be okay with that because he's usually a very fringe actor.
Yeah, no, I remember hearing the fact that when he took the script, I remember a lot of people were kind of freaking out because they're like, he does not take scripts very easy. Well, he doesn't usually, when he picks this, he's usually really, what's the term? Picky. He's very picky with what movies he decides to work on. And I guess when he was first introduced to this role, he's kind of hesitant when he first got, he's like, I don't want to do a superhero movie. Mm-hmm. But then further,
he found out it wasn't a superhero movie.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a superhero movie. Mm-hmm. It was more. And so he's like, you know what? I'm going to do this.
Yeah. And he did a phenomenal job.
Fantastic job.
Phenomenal job. I will say, though, on that note, I work with someone who swore off seeing the movie before it even came out because Joaquin Phoenix was in it because they hated him so much. I don't know why.
Sorry.
I can't remember exactly what reason, but I think they just didn't like his acting in some movies or something. But after seeing this, I mean, dude did a great job, and he should win some awards, or the movie should win some awards because they broke some boundaries. Don't pop your neck, man.
I just snapped my neck. Speaking of disgusting stuff in the film.
Okay, now let's not get too deep into that just yet.
We're not going to get into anything. Let's talk.
But yes, let's transition into the spoilers. So for everyone who has not seen the movie yet, okay, well, if you're not going to watch it because it's rated R and it's a really hard movie, and I understand there's going to be some people who can't watch that. So if you're not going to watch it, feel free to listen to us, but we are going to talk about the things that happen in that movie. Matthew is making all these different hand gestures at me, so I'm going to throw it back to him for a second.
Let me just say something that's not spoilerish.
Okay.
Because I feel like this is something I've been wanting to say for this review.
Yeah.
I want to say it right now to address the issue, the kind of elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I did not feel this film was as violent as people were making it out to. Because I was hearing all in the news that this film was going to inspire hate crimes, or it was going to be violent. It was going to be super bloody and gory. It was not as gory as I thought it was going to be.
Okay, I have to disagree with you on that. This movie was incredibly violent.
I mean, yes, incredibly violent,
but not in a way that is
gory.
Inspiring to make anyone like that. Because I had totally forgot about that being a thing until you just brought it back up. Like, that did not occur to me at all when I was watching that movie. Like, oh, I should leave this movie and go do bad things. No, it's a movie. It's fake. That's the whole point. You watch it because it's a great story, but that's it. It's a story. It's fiction.
Yeah.
So yes, I entirely agree. Although, like I was saying, it is a very hard movie. There are some things that are talked about in this movie that are very, very dark and so if you can't handle that kind of stuff, then I would recommend just
don't
reading
watch
a
it
synopsis about it, or
reading about
because even listening to us talk about like the spoilerific part, it might venture into some territory that makes you uncomfortable. So for anybody who can't handle that stuff or doesn't want to spoil the movie, sign out now. This is the end of the podcast for you guys. Feel free, if you are just waiting to go watch the movie, come back after the movie and hear what we had to say if you'd like to. But overall, thank you guys so much for listening. This has been a great podcast. Check out our social media, Facebook at social media at Back from the Grid Podcast, Twitter and Twitch at Back from the Grid. And so Matthew, did you have anything to say before we do a soft sign off?
Pineapples.
So thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next exciting episode of Back from the Grid podcast. And all right, so if you're still here, you want to hear about the Joker and our opinions of it. So let's dive right in.
Dive right on into
Holy crap. This movie
so
was, and this is going to be hard to like express in our PG-13 manner that we try to keep on this podcast.
So let me go ahead and state something.
Yeah.
That so Joker in the comics and in media up till this point did not really have much of an origin in the main universe, to say. The Killing Joke, if you ever heard, which is a really
like
great
three
story.
different Jokers, aren't
there's multiple different universes in the DCU.
Yeah.
But the main Joker himself has no origin story, and that's confused a lot of people. Nobody knows who his actual identity is. And Joker, when he approached about it, he's like, if I'm going to have an origin story, I would have it be multiple choice. And you know what? I feel like that's what this movie kind of is.
Spot on for that.
Because it can be interpreted in multiple different ways. Because it's not just one flat
and
thing.
He has no origin. His parents are unknown. His childhood is known, but where he actually came from, nobody knows.
Nobody knows. You don't know his actual parents or anything like that.
Because he, you've already seen the movie, so like he actually hunts down, he goes to the asylum and gets the papers, finds out his mother is an abuser. And I watched a Game Theory's video on it, and like their theory about it is that like almost all the events in the film
are in his
head, which is crazy. And I hope that's not true, because there was a lot of stuff in there that was very interesting, and I hoped it, because I don't, but that's what makes it, that's actually pretty clever though, because the Joker is someone who exists in, the now. He doesn't exist in the past or the future. He just is and does what he does, and he's an agent of chaos. And I think this movie represents that beautifully.
He does cause a lot of chaos.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say that like the way they portrayed his inspiring of the masses
is weird, because he doesn't intend to it. He does it on purpose.
He just like stumbles into it. And that makes me like, because obviously some of it did happen. Well, and maybe
some of it did happen, some of it didn't.
Although, because he ends inside an asylum, so maybe none of it happened, and he was just imagining all of that.
And that's what comes down to the whole, we don't know what's real, what's not.
Yeah,
it can be open for multiple different points of.
Although from this point on, I would like to assume that besides everything that was clearly stated that was fake happened.
Yeah.
So like the riots happened. We're assuming that. This is an assumption, but we're going to assume it because it's not been explicitly stated that it didn't happen. So so I want to talk about the scene of him going on to the Murray show.
Oh.
Was it the Murray show?
The Murray show where basically.
Like that whole sequence. From the moment that Murray came and talked to him in the dressing room to the moment where he was up in the face of the cameras after he just shot him. I want to talk about that scene. That scene was crazy. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up again. For those of you who don't know, I work in television, very on the fringe edge of it, but I got my foot in the door. And so a lot of that stuff that was happening in that movie hit very close to home for me, because I do it every single day. And that scene was like,
imagine if that was
crazy.
To happen to you.
Huh?
Imagine if that was to happen to you.
Oh, yeah. The whole time I was thinking, like, what if I was behind those cameras? Holy crap, this would be, like, ridiculous.
You would probably run.
Although I was also thinking that there is no way in heck that a guy like this would ever be on our show, because there's, like, proofing and et ceteras. But I don't want to talk about like me and, you know, my work experience, but from a personal standpoint, that scene was very powerful.
Yeah. So no, I found it interesting because he went from, you know, because originally he was wanting to go to the show to commit suicide. I mean,
Mhm.
that's how he was. I feel like he started out the movie very clearly like he was Arthur,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a nobody. Nobody cared about him
Yeah.
other than his mother.
Well,
Partially.
do you think he changed his mind like as soon as he asked Murray to call him Joker?
I feel like that was at that point
Do you think that was the turning point?
No, I feel like he was on the edge at that point. Like he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as
So you think his speech was when he changed his mind? Whenever he was like going off about...
that's when I feel like he became the persona.
Mhm.
The persona.
That's a very different thing, Matthew.
That's when he took on the persona of the Joker. I feel like that's that moment
The
that
persona.
the persona. My persona is
Okay.
the Bumble.
All right. Anyways, he took on the persona of the Joker as he was making that speech.
Yeah, and he evolved from he didn't know what to do with his life, and he's thinking about death and suicide.
Mhm.
And he clearly had he just kept thinking about killing himself on the
Mhm.
Murray show. And then he gets to that point and he's about to go ahead and do that. But then he is like,
Then he starts to understand what the whole mob mentality is.
Yes.
He joins in their thinking.
He's like, you know what? These people treat us like garbage and throw us in the trash. You know what? I'm just going to join the crowd. And he had such a profound following
Mm-hmm.
that he'd gathered on
He didn't even
an
try.
accident. He didn't
Yeah.
try or anything. He was that symbol of the poor people against the rich
Mm-hmm.
is what he became.
That's a very powerful symbol.
And that's a very powerful
it's even,
symbol.
relevant today, which is, well, of course it is, because it just came out a couple weeks ago. But from the perspective of the movie, it was what, in the 60s or
70s or
60s, something like that. And just that idea of way back when, rich versus poor is something that's still, around
affects us today.
There's, but back to the movie.
So, but yeah, no, it was really, I seeing that transformation, you kind of hope that everything will be okay
Mhm.
because you get to know the person.
Yeah.
And I felt sympathy towards
Mhm.
him because
I got that at first, but then towards the end, it was more pity than
Yeah,
it was sympathy.
that's what it was at my point. That was
Yeah.
he clearly, he wasn't a terrible person at some point. Is what
No,
I'm saying.
yeah.
He wasn't
No.
always this person.
And but finish your thought. I got something else I want to talk about.
But then the further on into the film, you start getting a little bit disgusted by some of his actions, and you
Mhm.
start to, like what you say, pity him
Mhm.
because it's I understand his intentions, but I feel like how he executes and what he does is
Mhm.
kind of disgusting, and he
Oh,
should
of
not
course.
be doing.
Not even kind of, definitely disgusting.
Yeah, it's definitely disgusting. The things.
Which brings me to my next thing. I want to talk about one specific scene in this movie that was very dark, but it was also effing funny.
Which one?
Okay, I don't know the proper PC term for this, so if I offend people, I apologize. What's the proper term? Because I know it's not starts with an M. It's not that one. I don't want to say okay, so a person of small stature.
Oh,
Yeah, that scene. Okay. So
Oh,
at first,
yes,
that scene was
that scene.
horrifying, but then when the guy just runs past him and he gets scared from Joker, or Arthur at that point, he sort of nips at him to scare him a little bit. It was kind of scary, and at that point, when he got past him, he's like, okay, he's fine. He gets to the door, and he can't unlock the door. And I was just thinking, oh God, no! Okay. That was just amazing. Whoever thought of that scene is a genius. It was
a
beautiful. It was so beautifully made. And then then they brought it back to dark. They did so good with this movie, with going from dark, light, up, down, and they just threw it, everywhere, left and right, all the time. And that scene, okay, so it started off good. His friends came to help him out, make him feel better. He gets a weapon. It gets darker. He kills one of them. It's really dark, and then he makes light with one of them a little bit, and that one, he's starting to leave, and then it's a funny scene, and then he goes to the door, scares him again, and then it gets really dark, and then he lets him go, and it's, you were the only one who was ever nice to me, and, he goes. Beautiful. Just amazing scene there. It was perfectly shot, scripted. The actors did great. It was amazing. I loved every second of that one. That was a powerful, powerful scene for me. So great. Loved it.
Yeah, no. If you are asking our opinions on it and okay, so final thoughts over the film. I feel like this film should make people reevaluate their opinion on what a comic book film can be. Because, and hear me out, I feel like there's this stigmatism about comic book films. And it's the same kind of stigmatism that keeps films like this from getting an Oscar. That superhero films are not that
Didn't
good.
Black Panther get an Oscar?
Yeah, well...
Yeah, it's a superhero film.
Well, like, in recent years. You know what I mean?
In recent years?
Yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
In the past, it's getting better.
I get what you're saying. It makes the path to, like, awards harder, more difficult.
And they think that just because, these movies don't have much, what's the term?
Substance?
Yeah, they don't have much
importance.
Substance. And they don't have that much importance, and they can't convey deep and meaningful messages.
Which
Because
is superhero,
complete bullcrap. Which is complete bullcrap. And this film is that
It's that
response.
On a dark scale.
It's that response to it. Mm-hmm. It has substance. It has grit. It has story. It has attention to detail. And it has subtext in it that is amazing in amount of detail. I have to give props. Now, I will say one thing that I feel like a lot of reviews especially kind of get it. It leans a little bit too heavy on the plot of Taxi Driver. Or this other film that I heard. A lot of people were talking about how the film followed a lot of the same points of the plot for Taxi Driver or this one comedy movie.
I don't know.
But after looking at it, I was like, okay, yeah, no, I can see what you're talking about. So it does, I feel like, get a little bit there.
I can't say much to either, but I know there's no problem with gaining inspiration from other creations. No one creative thing is original. Mm. Everything that we see, do, hear, smell, taste, everything today is based off of something else. Even just our words, our language is based off of other things, Latin and all the other stuff that English is based on.
But I will say one thing. I mean, if you follow the beats of like if you were to follow like beats or sections of a movie, mm-hmm. like say for example, if you were to like do what they did, I mean, it gets predictable if you're someone who's watched Taxi Driver.
I mean, it can.
And if it does follow a lot of those same beats, I feel like that kind of diminishes the enjoyment of the film.
It could be, yeah, absolutely. But that's up to personal taste. There's going to be movies that are similar. There's a lot of movies. There's a lot of TV shows. But before we sign off here, I've got two other things I want to cover. So the first thing that I wanted to cover is, and this sort of, without being done assuming that it's all real and happened and whatnot, like, for when he's in the Murray show and he's talking to Murray and he's going on and on, one of the arguments that game theory made was that, I guess I should say film theory at that point, one of the arguments that Matt Pat made about that scene for why it may not have been real was there's no way they would have allowed him to go on and on and on like that, being uninterrupted. And especially like the way Arthur's character did a 180, going up to that lady and kissing her, dancing in front of all these people when before he's been a social outcast and not been able to like, smile in front of people or anything else like that. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Do you think that that scene actually happened or did it not? Or perhaps it happened but in a different way?
I think that scene was real. Yeah, with the same logic of what Matt Pat used. Because even though there was scenes in it that were kind of...
Well, he said there was a good chance that it didn't happen.
there was also a chance in the video where he did say that,
because all
of
the different
fact,
TVs.
Yep, that's why I'm saying I feel like at least it happened. It now is what we're seeing 100% what all happened? I doubt it, because it may have been different. In fact, if you look at the footage on those monitors,
What the heck? I turned you off. Keep going.
there's a
Dang it,
scene.
Navi.
She wants you to listen.
Shut up.
Anyway, there's a scene in the film where it's like when he kills Murray, he goes up to the camera and it cuts out there and it cuts out to the thing, and then you start seeing replays of the whole event.
Yeah,
and you can see it that he did finish talking some of these other events. The footage didn't just cut right then and there, which doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
because the ones they show on the monitor are different and it goes on longer and he gets tackled by police, where the other one it just cuts.
Yeah,
before he gets to go on his monologue.
Fair. Yeah.
So I feel like with that, it shows, hey, I feel like we didn't get to see the whole thing.
So the last thing that I wanted to talk about before we can go ahead and end this fairly long podcast here, which it always is when we talk about a movie that we've seen and enjoy. So, DC. I've said it a million times and I'll say it a million times more. There's only one thing that these guys are good at, and that's dark and gritty. You know what this movie is?
Dark and gritty.
It's dark and gritty. That's why this movie is good. DC should... Okay, so
Stop trying to copy Marvel.
Exactly. I want DC, and I think this would be amazing. This could be the pinnacle of all movie creations. I want DC to keep doing this. Keep making, villain films, which I know I think it's a marginal genre. I don't know how many people would be interested in that, but I want to see this kind of movie for Harley Quinn.
Oh man, have you seen the Birds of Prey? Well, yeah, you have.
Well, there's a Harley Quinn movie coming.
No, that's the Birds of Prey.
But I'm not watching the trailers and stuff if I can help it.
You watched part of it.
Well, yeah, but I forgot about it. Whatever. I want to see a Harley Quinn movie. I want to see a Poison Ivy movie. I want to see what are some other Batman movies? A Riddler, Penguin. I want to see all these.
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, I want to see all these DC villain films.
Batman's got a lot of good villains.
Maybe not just Batman villains, but DC does dark and gritty better than anyone. Period. They did it better than Marvel could with the Infinity War. I'm just throwing that out there. They just do dark and gritty really good. So, what I want to happen, and I know that's not going to happen, but DC, I know you're listening to us because we're super popular and all that. I want DC to make all these supervillain films, flesh them out like they have, make them interesting characters, and then I want a DC versus Marvel. DC villains versus Marvel heroes. I want that so bad because that would be amazing. It would be the pinnacle of all film, TV, movie creations, and then we could all just quit and go home and never watch another movie again because there would never be anything better.
So yeah, that's our tangent.
Yes.
Tangents.
Yes.
Tangent. Blah,
yes.
blah, blah, blah,
all right.
blah.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Check us out on social media. Let us know your opinions on everything we've talked about today. The news stories that we talked about, the verses of Mario and Luigi versus Batman and Robin. Let us know what you think about our impersonations, if you have any suggestions or opinions on that. And let us know what you thought about the Joker. We really want to know what you guys thought and just talk with y'all. So, yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Matthew, did you have anything to say besides the one word you always say? Do you have anything else intelligible to say for our audience before we go?
Apple.
It's all different. Right, we'll see you all next time on the next exciting episode of Back from the Grid podcast. See you next time.
Bye.